Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Eddie, and I am back. Quite literally this time. I'm sorry I wasn't able to record the last 2 weeks, but, well, here I am now. And this time I'm making a video on episodes 10 and 11. So, right, with all that out of the way, obviously there will be spoilers up ahead. If you haven't watched the episodes, what are you doing? You probably should watch them, and yeah, without further ado, let's talk about them both. Okay, well, for starters, I just want to point out my broad overview of what I felt like about these two episodes. Episode 10 was interesting in that, along with the previous episode, it honestly kind of felt a bit like filler. So I'm not entirely sure what the point of this episode was. I still enjoyed it though. So episode 10 was it was full of a lot of twists and turns, and right off the bat, I want to say there's a very strong Studio Gainax influence right here. And if you don't know what Studio Gainax is, helicopter flying overhead. If you don't know what Studio Gainax is, basically they're the guys that made Kill La Kill. And oh my god, hold on a sec, guys. Anyways, right. Studio Gainax. There's a very strong Studio Gainax influence to it, and while I normally prefer the normal, Heavenly Delusion directing style, I do think that I don't really hate the Studio Gainax style. I feel like it worked for this episode particularly because it's like, we get to see a lot of, I think we get to see a bit of development on Kiriko's part. And it's not 100% linked to the story, and I think that's great because it's a nice change of pace. The moments where they go super deformed was pretty cute too, and honestly, it added a good deal of humor to the segments that I gotta say I personally liked. So that's first off. Second off, Juichi. What? Okay, we still don't know if that breeding pig story is true, but especially considering what happens at the end right there, considering that Juichi's a very unreliable narrator, but I feel like there's definitely some truth to the story, unlike what I said in the last video, where I said that breeding pig story was completely false. Apparently there's some truth to it, which is, I mean, okay, I don't even know what to believe anymore. I was honestly, when the episode was starting out and they were just going along with Juichi, I was really surprised at the whole thing because I thought he had just run off, right? I didn't, and they were exploring the Takahara Academy ruins, or Takahara Academy, I guess some offshoot location, and I still don't understand how they were able to meet up again, but yeah, that was kind of confusing to me, but hey, you know what? I think it was pretty interesting. The boob grabbing scene was a little odd, in my opinion. What's really funny is that these women, if they even existed, apparently hated women with large breasts so much, which I feel like kind of goes against doesn't that... Anyways, they hated other women with large breasts so much that they would kill anyone with a decently sized cup, which... Okay, what? Another thing I wanted to point out... Oh yeah, and that was what I meant by development on Kiriko's part, is that I feel like Kiriko's slowly, turning into an actual girl now, despite their original Haruki brain, because I feel like the hormones in their body is slowly starting to influence the way they, the way they sort of behave and stuff. Because, I don't know, I just... Remember, Kiriko getting jealous over looking at Maru in a wig and asking who's prettier? I feel like, it's small stuff like that, and I feel like that's probably the point of the episode, to show, how Kiriko is evolving. That fight scene with the man-eater was really cool also. A battle against the monster in an old abandoned school. The monster likely being the mother of Jugo, by the way. By the way, I read a little theory in the comments of the site I was watching. I was watching a 9 anime, and I scrolled down after I finished watching the entire episode, and I saw a little theory down below that said the two girls that were kissing in heaven might have been the two women that were taking care of Jugo. We don't have anything to confirm this other than the fact that they're just two women, but I mean, the theory hasn't been disproven yet, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. So after all that, we fortunately find out, luckily, it appears that Jugo and the other men are alive. Unfortunately, they are attached, and neutral fortunately, Jugo is a man-eater. Or something like that. And to top it all off, it turns out that Juichi is actually a genius, and he had an elaborate revenge plan in the works. He kills out the man that sold him on the night of his escape, and even gave Kiriko and Maru the car, not just because he was being nice, but also because he wanted to take the only 2 cars so that they couldn't chase him down. Juichi, I thought he was just a silly clown guy, a silly conspiracy theory guy in the last episode, but this guy's honestly pretty cool. I'm also worried for Tokyo. She's carrying baby Maru inside of her right now, and she has to be safe. On another random side note, her hair has grown out, making her definitely a lot more girly, unlike her initial tomboyish appearance. Also, what do the scientists mean when they say the child will be born while telling Tokyo that they'll be removed? And what's up with the new kids they just introduced into heaven? Overall, episode 10 was a pretty strange episode. There were a lot of great moments in this episode. For example, Kiriko using Juichi's, catchphrase of saying "see you, bye-bye" at the very end as they zoom off in their car, as well as the tactical fight scene where Kiriko's trying to, hunt down the man-eater. The episode was definitely a bit controversial, but I found it pretty fun and enjoyable. I definitely don't think this should be the norm moving forward, but again, nothing wrong with having an episode like this every now and then, so yeah. And that's episode 10. Now, as for episode 11, I feel like there's a lot more we could say here. I feel like this is the closest we've gotten to a purely Heaven episode or Takahara Academy episode. Because we didn't have that, we did have one moment, one very significant, very significant Kiriko and Maru storyline moment that I'm going to get to in just a sec. But anyways, episode 11, here we go right in. So, immediately off the bat, the episode starts off with a little drone. What a cute little device. I mean, hopefully nothing terrifying happens later on in the episode. Well, immediately after we're treated to Tokyo giving birth. Okay, so first off, this girl is 15, okay? Second off, this girl doesn't understand what giving childbirth is. Meaning she's just going through excruciating pain without realizing what's going on. Yikes. Also, it appears that Kona has formed some sort of mental link with Tokyo, meaning that not only is she in extreme pain, he is also in extreme pain. So, double yikes. And then I mentioned that this is all just in the first 2 minutes of the episode. Of course, Maru gives the van a super corny name. Okay, so this is the Kiriko and Maru segment, one of the few we have in this episode, and seriously, I just love the banter between these two. The banter between Kiriko and Maru is just so nice. The argument over who owned the car, the argument about what jury's name that was added to the car would indicate, and the little argument over who's more nitpicky is just amazing. I love these two before, but each passing episode just gives me another excuse to love them even more. Baby Maru! And the prototype Kiriko beam too. Looks like the old director lady really is an evil mad scientist. She's even planning to take over Aoshima using some weird kink in the logic of the assistant director eventually becomes a director, doesn't it? Herder. Man, what an evil, crazy lady. I thought... Oh my god. And that's why she chose Aoshima, a woman, instead of Sawatari to become the assistant director, because she wants to transplant her brain into Aoshima. Poor Aoshima, jeez. So, not only is this director lady an evil mad scientist, a child groomer, and a cult leader, but she's also planning to be a murderer. Aoshima doesn't know anything about this. That scene right after where Sawatari is looking at baby Maru, and Aoshima just looks over his shoulder and says, "Oh, what a cute little baby." That's so chilling, just knowing what's in store for Miss Aoshima right here. But I do have to admit, baby Maru, very adorable. And of course, right after we switch to current Maru, and I guess he's still adorable. And yeah, they spend a bit of time in the house talking about this and that, and notice a bit of smoke in the distance. And guess what? It's fucking Robin. Yeah, we found him. We found him, guys, and he's looking real evil. Holy shit, it's the man himself, and to believe that this isn't even the biggest revelation in this episode so far. Man. Well, if there's another revelation, it's that those hair flaps on Mimi Hime's head really were her ears. We saw it earlier this episode, but now we managed to get some close-up confirmation. Oma, aka the man-eater that that's the one that ends up in the basement in episode 8, has the ability to summon scary illusions, and completely unintentionally too. Right now, she's just a scared girl whose powers seem to drive away everyone around her. Poor girl. Honestly, I could say that to Mimi Hime too. Like, not only does she see the fate that lies ahead of her, hence her phobia of knives and sharp things, but she can also see all sorts of things in the future, and they're mostly terrifying, given how the world turns out by the time Kiriko and Maru are rolling around. That scene with Kona talking to Mimi Hime when she sees his future as apparently a man-eater was absolutely terrifying. I saw someone mention in the comments that this is also setting up a potentially tragic encounter in which Maruko might kill his Hiroko-ized father without knowing it later on. Anyhow, she later manages to snap out of it, and our friendly boy Kona is back. For now. In the meantime, Mimi Hime also manages to snap out of the illusion that Oma creates when she came to return her handkerchief and tell her that, Mimi Hime, I think you're really cool. And I feel like this is sad as well, because we all know what happens to Oma. Like, 99% sure, the man-eater in this basement, y'all know who this is. It's Oma. Another thing I want to point out is that the chief engineers, right? The chief engineers in Takahara Academy, and by that extent, probably most of the staff in this academy have no idea what they're actually doing. They know they're doing some bad things, they know that's probably for the greater good, but they don't know what it is. Well, isn't that just an amazing sign that absolutely nothing can go wrong, right? Also, what exactly is Aoshima trying to start with Sawatari when the director was gone? And why are there 2 baby Marus all of a sudden? Junior C... Did they clone baby Maru? I've got a few theories right here, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, a piece of good news for the Takahara Academy kids is that Tokyo is back! And episode 11 is called The Test Begins. And guess what? The robot says it. The test begins. Isn't that just ominous, guys? I'm sure absolutely nothing can go wrong here either. They call the children Hiroko, and the kids are like, I feel like that's a name I've long forgotten, but has, like, I feel like they called me by their true name that I've forgotten, so, yeah, well, this is definitely not a good sign either. Things are just getting wilder and wilder here. Anyhow, it looks like none of these kids are studying for a test that they don't know what is going to be about, so I guess that's a few last moments of normalcy before everything goes to shit, because let's be honest here, everything's probably going to go to shit later for poor subjects in heaven. And also, it looks like Nina has powered down, so yeah, we're in the end game here, folks. We're in the end game, and I don't like our chances. And yeah, that's the end of that. That's the end of the review of episode 10 and 11. Absolutely wild, and it's only going to get wilder from here. So yeah, I guess that is that. And I guess that's it. If y'all enjoyed this video, folks, if y'all enjoyed these 2 episodes, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't done so already. And smash that bell, and I will be off. The sky's up, and you guys are awesome. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.